Hey folks, thanks for tuning in to Wildcards, our occasional look at all things Savage Worlds. I'm your host, Mike Lafferty, here with co-host Ross Watson. How you doing, Ross?
Doing good. Thank you for having us.
Oh, thank you for being here. And we are here with Doomguard designer, Mr. Mike Barbeau from Pinnacle. How you doing, Mike?
Great. How are you guys doing?
Oh, living the dream, sir. Before we get started, I have to play our contractually mandated opening music, so just 1 second. That song will go on for a long time if I let it.
I love that it's contractually mandated. That's fantastic.
I owe some people some money, Mike. It's sometimes these things happen. Anyway, that musical cavalcade should assure you, gentle listener, gentle viewer, that this is a high-quality podcast with high production values, only the finest, ethically sourced, farm-to-table, bespoke, peaky conversation for your podcast listening pleasure.
Artisanal. You forgot artisanal.
Artisanal, gluten-free.
May contain nuts.
Oh, definitely contains nuts.
So let's talk about Doomguard, and let me get it out of the way first.
Wait. We should introduce Mike.
Sorry, Mike Barbeau works for Pinnacle, and he is the designer of the Doomguard board game.
Well, he doesn't just work for Pinnacle. Mike, your title is Creative Director of Board Game Design. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. But that is also in addition to Savage Pathfinder.
Hot damn.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, Savage Pathfinder is the most fun I've had doing fantasy role playing in years.
Yeah, fantastic game.
You know what? Thank you so much. That truly means a lot. And maybe next time we can talk Carrion Crown that's coming out.
Yeah, I am down. That would be great. Yeah, we did an actual play a couple years ago of SP, and I was expecting it to be a slog because, well, Pathfinder. But holy shit, that was fun. It was fun, fast, and furious. So yeah, I was really into that. Anyway, I'm sorry, rabbit hole. Didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, no problem. I brought it up.
Now we can talk about Doomguard. Now that everyone knows who Mike Barbeau is.
Now we can talk about Doomguard. Okay, so Necessary Evil is a superhero setting for Savage Worlds, and the Doomguard are a team within that setting. Am I correct?
Yeah, so as a matter of fact, if you picked up Necessary Evil Cosmic Crisis, there is a point in there where your characters, I won't say heroes, actually meet some of the Doomguard. There may or may not be a misunderstanding going on. I won't get into that because I'm sure some people are going to play it. But yeah, Necessary Evil and Doomguard are tied together. So
can you just do the elevator pitch of what is or who are the Doomguard?
So the Doomguard are not your street level friendly neighborhood Spider-Man type characters. They are the ones pulled together when there's an existential threat to destroy all of humanity. Cthulhu showing up isn't there just to bug a couple people and break a house. He's there to eat all the souls, wreck everything, enslavement of humankind from alien invasions, or maybe Asmodeus just wants to convert all of Earth to hell and rule over it like a good old-fashioned Hell King.
So I'm thinking Doomguard came from like the Legion of Doom, right? Like,
so really what it was is we had it's actually not Legion of Doom. It's way less interesting. We needed a name for the team, and I was trying to figure out all this stuff, and it came down to the game uses a Doom track. And I was like, oh, what about like Guardian? They're Guardians. They're stopping the Doom Guard. And I'm like, you know what? That actually sounds pretty cool, I think. So, it kind of works. Simple things bring simple joy.
But the Doomguard are kind of like a Justice League of villains that come together to stop world threats.
Yeah.
The world is where they keep all their stuff.
Exactly, 100%. That's where they keep everything, and the villains tend to get some pardons out of it because they really require extra stuff to do what's right. Um, I air quote right because they do a lot of really bad stuff. If you want, right, you can play the game however you want, but yeah, some people might fight monsters. Most of the villains like to drop buildings on monsters and destroy part of the city while they're at it.
So the concept of Doomguard is it's a Justice League villains, and they fight big threats. What's interesting to me about this project is that it is both a board game and a role-playing game, and those two things are combined or intertwined, or how are they related to each other?
So right now you have the Doomguard RPG, which takes the events of the core Doomguard board game in a different path, and you can play it that way. And then the board game has its own set of scenarios that are almost RPG-like in terms of there's consequences and things happen from story to story. But you can play them both independently if you want to run them together in some kind of mishmash, you can. But if you're just a board gamer, you don't have to run the RPG. If you're just an RPG player, you don't have to run the board game. So we've got them where they sit side by side, and they can overlap a little, but you're not punished if you don't want to do one or the other.
Awesome. And so this board game, let's start talking about it. What is Doomguard like?
So everybody gets a guardian. You get to pick whoever you want. Maybe you want to be the cool speedster or the evil, Ironmonger or Warmonger. I can't remember his name. However, you want to play the game. You pick your hero. You get power stunt cards, and you go around the board trying to complete scenarios. And the scenarios play, I think, like an action movie or a comic book movie sequence. It starts out with you getting some flavor text. You get to learn about what's happening. You investigate around the board, and then once you've accomplished a certain set of goals, you reveal your second phase or the second act, if you will, and continue on to defeat whatever the evil is, right? So to bring it back to an Iron Man reference, you get to that point. The first half is him being Tony Stark, and the second half is he is Iron Man and moves on, right? So the story kind of plays like that. But you have to make all these choices, to kind of reference it like you would an RPG. Do you want to rescue bystanders, or is it more important to beat bad guys, or to stop the city from becoming corrupt? Because one of the things I love about the game, and I think a lot of people do, is I like to say the board-in heroes are living, which is to say that if you take too much corruption, your guardian becomes crazed and has a whole different set of powers and downsides. But also the city, if you don't stop the corruption, it becomes fully corrupted, advances the doom. And what once used to be ceremonies in a gazebo out at Legacy Memorial Park turns into a giant gazebo monster, quite literally a gazebo monster, that starts attacking people. And so, the board changes depending on how you play and what you let happen.
I heard that gazebos can only be hurt by magical weapons.
I thought it was silver. I don't know.
Okay, well, that's really cool. Can you tell us, how so there's the Kickstarter page, which actually answers a lot of my questions. 1 to 5 players, 60 to 90 minutes, and it's 14 and up. What's the setup time typically for a game of Doomguard?
Setup time depends on the number of players, but I would say your first time, 15 minutes, depending on if you've sorted cards. After that, it's 10. On the back of them, they tell you what the scenario is. So as long as you know to grab all of the stars align, it's pretty quick. You grab them. The thing that I think takes the longest with it is we've allowed customization. So when you start out playing, you have all of your choices of minions. If you're heck yeah, gazebo. You get to pick your minions that you want to fight against. A lot of people will choose ones they like or randomize, however they want to do it. But that usually makes it take just a little bit longer when you're new, because you're like, oh, do I want to fight the big worm dudes? Do I want to fight the hounds that teleport? And then if you have the expansions, you can mix and match. So it's really how much of that you want to, nitpick and pick.
So something you may not know, and maybe some of the listeners don't know, I worked at Fantasy Flight Games for quite a while. And looking at this board, I can see dice with special symbols on them, which was a staple of a lot of Fantasy Flight Games products. So these dice, these are special dice that work with this particular game. Is that right?
Yeah. So we have two types of dice. We have the power dice, which is you generate power at the start of your turn. It kind of helps dictate what you're better at that turn. And the more damage you take, the less power dice you get. So you start to get weaker and weaker as you take hits to the face, but you're never out of commission. And there's ways to heal and get dice back. But the combat dice are also very specific to the game, as they have POWs, which are hits, shields to defend. But my favorite is the collateral damage icon. Spoiler alert, that's bad. But I've never seen anything superhero related in which there wasn't collateral damage. And so we wanted to integrate that to the game. And so when you're rolling, you can apply your shields to stop collateral damage, or you can apply your shields to block the damage and payback from the minions and let the buildings fall. And a lot of times that's bad, but some scenarios may actually require you to demolish certain landmarks, like if there's a lot of corruption or evil there. But also, if you drop a building on a bunch of monsters, you kill them, you get XP. You just want to hope there's no bystanders there, because they're all going to die, and bad stuff's going to happen.
That does sound really cool. I mean, it sounds like you have an interesting choice to make. You can do a little role playing with it if you want to. I also like I presume that it is kind of random to see if there are bystanders or not in a building. After.
Yeah, there's random bystander spawning during the phase. So you'll start the round and you'll be like, all right, this is my plan this turn, and then bystanders will spawn, and you'll be like, well, that changes slightly. But at the start of every player's turn, you draw a Dark Portents card, which is basically that shit goes wrong sometimes card at the start of your turn. And it may say something like, spawn some cultists here, and you can't take move actions this turn. Or there's even one where the bad guys mess with reality and completely replace a landmark with another. So that mall may suddenly turn into a bank that you didn't think was there. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff making choices, and you can protect bystanders by taking stun tokens, as long as you don't have a stun token already. But sometimes you don't care, because you're like, stun slows me down and I got to get to point B after this.
I see here it says it's a cooperative game, so we're all playing together against the board, kind of.
Yeah, so it is a completely cooperative game. It's everybody versus the bad guy. However, there are different levels of cooperative. I've said this before. I love the term co-opetitive. There are a couple characters that will mess with the other guardians, but it's all to do something to win the game. So Ogre, for example, can steal energy from other players, use energy to rescue bystanders, play power stunt cards, do various things. And so Ogre can just be like, no, I need to do this turn. I'm going to steal your energy. I'm going to steal that and do it. Spellbinder, who we unlocked, can give other people corruption to gain more himself and turn it into spells. And then on the opposite end of the board, we have Hex and Warden, who are hyper teamwork based, where they're like, they are very much friendly, I'll help all of my buddies kind of characters. So depending on what play style you like, if you like, if you still want to win but kind of dick over your buddy a little bit while you do it, you can pick a character that does that. If you're just all team based, you can pick a hero. And then even Blackguard is kind of just this standoffish solo punch him in the face jerkwad. If you like playing that character, you can do that. So there's a whole lot going on. And I know Daryl, there's we talk about role playing. There's nothing more entertaining than watching Daryl get in there and whatever character he plays is 100% role play.
Yeah, Daryl Hayhurst could role play tic-tac-toe. That's the joke. He'd be like, the O's have an oath that they've sworn to the gods. Like, he would find a way to do it. Now, let's talk about this Kickstarter a little bit. What's the current status of the Kickstarter?
So we have funded. We're at just over 100, just over 65 by 100. I think it's going really well. We're, I think, 3-4 days into the Kickstarter. We've unlocked some new landmarks. We've added a very easy social goal. If we get to 600 backers, we're going to add another landmark. But I think we've blown through, I think, a good 5, maybe 6 of them. We've unlocked, people wanted STLs because we originally had minis, or we're going to do it in the first time we wanted to launch this. So they've unlocked the Guardian STLs, and then we've added the Minion STLs as well for the core game. All in just gets them for free, or I think they're a $10 add-on. But yeah, we're going through it. I hope we get to unlock all the extra baddies, and then Mantle as well, because he's another one of those Guardians where he lights allies on fire and uses his powers to let them do things with fire. But if he moves too far away, now you're just on fire and have to deal with that. And unfortunately, in this game, fire has a really gnarly half-life because you take 1 damage for each fire token, and then you only get rid of 1.
That's
so, yeah, like I said, really gnarly half-life on that.
All right,
Nice.
So yeah, Mike, maybe you can show us like what the pledge gets you on Doomguard.
Yeah, so if you scroll down just a little bit, and you're scrolling pledges.
Oh, am I in the wrong place?
Yeah, scroll down the story.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Back to campaign. Scrolling. Download the board game rulebook. Meet the Guardians. Still scrolling. What's in the box?
There we go.
So we start out with 6 Guardians that you can play. We've added Spellbinder now, so there's actually 7 Guardians. Each have their own unique Power Stunt and Crazed Power Stunt deck. And then these Guardian boards you see are also 2-sided. One side for Heroic, the other side for Crazed. Which again, it's like playing almost 2 heroes if you become Crazed, because it changes what you do dramatically. The minions each come with their own standees. For anybody who's played Pinnacle stuff, you know how the standees are. They're all fantastic. There are various amount depending. So, for example, the Quaking Horrors, the big worms, there's only 3 of those, but there's like 7 cultists. So it's, it depends on the group. The city board is 1-sided, but it's really nice. And my favorite thing about it is when you look at it up close, there is so much going on. You can't see it from here, but one of those quick stops towards the top, there is just blood all over the street, like wrecked ambulances. It's chaos. There's little monsters hidden throughout the thing, and big monsters not so hidden. So it's really fun. The Ultimate Evil, there's 2 of them. This is a double-sided board. So the story is versus Cthulhu, or trying to stop Cthulhu. But if you want, you can play any scenario also instead with Azathoth. And so basically, Cthulhu is I drop a bunch of corruption, and when you become crazed, the doom advances real fast, and you're going to die. Azathoth doesn't give a crap if you go crazy. He is dropping collateral damage. The world is literally ending around you. And you need to go and fortify landmarks and prevent him from destroying it, because each time he destroys a landmark, the doom advances again. And so totally different bad guy play styles. That's similar for all the boxes.
I think the tagline actually captures some of this. It says superheroes versus cosmic evil, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's superheroes versus Cthulhu is a pretty good pitch, I gotta admit.
That's what pulled me in. I'm not gonna lie. They were like, "It's superheroes versus Cthulhu," and I'm like, "I can make this work."
Yeah,
that was one of my favorite Justice League episodes. Actually, they kind of.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they did. They kind of did that. Yeah.
So, all right, double-sided landmark tiles. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, the landmarks go in all those spots, and this really what gives you the feel of the city. There's more than you can actually play with. and that's because it's fun to randomize them, switch them out, stuff like that. Like I said, there's regular and crazed. You got your dice, right? Huzzah. The 2 power decks per guardian is what I was talking about with Power Stunt. What you see here are the quick reference cards for the minions. So whenever you are fighting them, you pull them out, you set them down. It tells you what their payback is, what their triggering icon is, all that good stuff. I am ease of play person, right? I want to just look. I hate opening the book. I want you to not have to open the book as much as possible. Dark Portents cards, those are the screw with you cards at the start of the turn. But they're actually tied to the minions you're fighting. So, if you're playing against cultists, there's going to be 5 cultist cards that deal with corruption. And that way it lets you like randomize based on what you're fighting. The Impending Doom cards are your round by round scenario cards. Those are going to tell the story of what's going on. So there's one where you're lost in the mist, for example. This big fog bank's rolled in and you're kind of lost trying to find your way around. And one of these is minions ambush you from the shadows. And so whenever you move, you suffer payback because they're darting out, right? So it tells a little bit of the story while you're playing. Random cards, random targeting. We did this to make it really easy to just not have to come up with some crazy like list. Like I play a lot of games where it's like target this person unless, then do this, then do this, then do this. Just flip it, target the guy. Want to again keep it quick, keep it moving.
Fast, fun, furious.
Yeah, exactly. Keys to the city. When you get XP, you pick a landmark within range, you get its key to the city, and it gives you an ability, right? You just keep it unless somebody blows up your landmark, and then you call them a jerk. Yeah,
that would be a jerk move.
Yeah, but each landmark's key to the city is going to be good for different guardians. Some prefer certain ones. But again, it's that first level achievement before you unlock your legendary card. The scenario cards, I told you I'm an ease of play person. These go on that board, and it tells you what your scenario actions are, what the scenario tokens do, what do you got to do to advance.
Okay,
right?
I do have to ask, are these the standard size playing cards, or are they little cards?
So no. So those are the oversized, almost tarot cards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you are at the far end of a dinner table, you're not going to be able to read it. But I want it, if you are next to the board, you can read what it says, right?
Smart.
Again, don't open the book. The book has all the info still, but we're playing. Your turn. Mike's next. Mike wants to double check his scenario action. He just looks here. He doesn't have to open the book. Tokens track thing in the health dial, or the dials track your health and corruption. So the nice thing about the dial, the outer rim, is it'll also tell you how many dice you are down. Because every 5 damage you take, you lose one of your power dice. There'll be cards and abilities and stuff that can give you more. But basically, it's that whole Superman's getting his ass kicked throughout the thing, and so he's slower to move. He just so happens to have to push a bystander out of the way rather than just being there to tank the world. But yeah, so that's what that's for.
What's something you're really super excited about to have people experience in this game?
Actually, it's probably the Legions of Hell. The Legions of Hell adds sin dice. So the more
this is an expansion.
Yeah, this is the expansion. It's right here. It comes with basically a bunch of new stuff and expansions. It's got its own campaign, own heroes. But the things you fight are from hell, and they're all about, or Stygia, and they're all about these bad emotions. You may know more about it if you know Necessary Evil stuff or upcoming Necessary Evil stuff. But the more you get sin dice instead of power dice, and so it's going to augment the stuff you're doing on your turn. So if you max out your wrath and you're almost crazed, you're rolling nothing but wrath dice. So you can kick ass like crazy, but you're not doing much in the way of like drawing cards to do extra power stunts, because all you care about is putting boot to face, right? So yeah, it's that kind of thing. Each of the expansions, even the core game, like it just adds different play styles that let you go, oh, I know how the whole game works. Now I add this one thing, and it plays slightly differently and does something fun. And that's what I'm super excited for people to do.
Cool. What do you think so far, Lafferty? I have to use last names because I'm surrounded by Mikes.
It was a very common name for parents back in the 70s. Well, actually, no, it was, where is it? That's the main game. Okay, so you can pick up Savage Worlds Necessary Evil on the same Kickstarter, right? As an add-on?
Yeah, actually, so you can pick up the Necessary Evil box set. It's got a really good box set there. But if you go back to the Kickstarter real quick, we did something, and I really want to point this out because it's a pretty big deal in my opinion. If you go to the rewards,
it's kind of a big deal.
So if you look at even just the book alone, which I think is $30.
Mm-hmm. So that's RPG book right there.
Yeah, so you'll notice it's also got the Suede PDF, the Superpowers Companion PDF, the Invasion PDF. So because this takes these other books to play, and we didn't want people to pick up a book and then have to go hunting. Now, if you want physical stuff, right? The box sets, everybody who's backed Savage Worlds knows the box sets are just phenomenal and they're great value and beautiful. But if you just want the PDF stuff so that you can play the Doomguard game while you play the Doomguard game, it's got everything you need here to play it, which I didn't know about anyway, but I thought was pretty great.
That's a pretty great value, actually. You get the book plus all those PDFs. That's most of those PDFs are at least $20-25 on their own. So
yeah. Especially the companions. The companions we did not go small on.
By Grabthar's Hammer, what a savings!
Yeah. So interestingly enough, even if you do the all-in, we basically did it so every time you bought something, or increased the size, the RPG book ended up being cheaper till you got to the all-in, in which it was only actually $10. But now you also get the STL pack, which is a $10 add-on. So technically, the book is now just free. So
that is kind of cool. Yeah, me and my kids spend a lot of time doing 3D printing at the local library, so I really appreciate the STL. Nice. That comes in handy.
Yeah, and I really enjoy the STLs, especially Ogre. Landauer is all excited over Ogre. He really loves that one.
Yeah, sweet. Nice. Yeah, this looks pretty cool. I wanted to ask you about, and I'm sure you get a lot of questions about the Alien Invasion expansion. That looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, so one of the Visori, the Immortal, comes back. This is post the campaign in which the is it Overmind? I think it's the Overmind is taken out, and the Visori Empire is shattered, and you have all these warlords. Well, this one comes back to Earth for a specific reason. It is tied to a Visori who stayed behind, and it also comes with Dr. Destruction, a little bit of background in a secret lair, as you have to build up a unique device in order to take out the Immortal. And there's, it's what you would expect. There's drones. This one actually has permanent landmark changes where from scenario to scenario, where there's prisons where bystanders get drugged to. And then if it becomes fully corrupt, it turns into a drone factory, which, spoiler alert, drones are people who have been, reduced. It's kind of a very dark thing. All of the nice people are turned into horrible killy drones. So yeah, it does that kind of stuff, and it plays into the Necessary Evil lore. It's got Finn bad guys, and there may or may not be a scenario that I talked Shane into letting me have hover bike riding Sharkmen in a gang. Because how do you not love that, right?
Right. I mean, that's a moral imperative.
Right. So yeah, it is all the Necessary Evil in the Alien Invasions, them coming back to kick some ass, and you hopefully not letting them.
Hopefully.
Well, that is pretty cool. We're at the half-hour mark, and we would like to keep things fun, fast, and furious. Ross, do you have any follow-up questions, last thoughts?
I think I would say if you're a Necessary Evil fan, this is absolutely Necessary Evil, the board game. It's really, really cool looking. It looks like it captures the feel of that setting. If you're a board game fan, I think it's got a really cool theme to it, like superheroes versus Cthulhu. What's not to love about that? That looks really cool. And it's got all the bits that I really like in board games. It's cooperative. It has cards. It has dice. It has fun little things that happen on the map. I'm in. It sounds great.
Cool. Mike, last word.
I want to thank everybody who is backing. I appreciate it. We can't wait to get this out and see you having fun.
Cool. Oh, I'm a concept professional, so I always make tiny URLs for all of our projects because it's easier to say the tiny URL than to read off the entire Kickstarter link. tinyurl.com/doomguardks will take you right to the Kickstarter. They've got better part of a month left to go, so please check it out and back it.
If I requested it, would you read the entire Kickstarter URL?
For you, Mr. Barbeau, yes, I would do that.
All right, I'm not going to ask.
Anybody else can go to hell. But for you, sir, So, and that happy thought, folks, thanks for checking us out, and we will catch you next time on Wild Wildcards.
But you didn't read it out.
I'm not going to make it.
He's reserving that right for later.
Yes.
Oh, not for this one. For next one.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's going to be a random podcast. I just wanted to read it out at the end.
Okay, got it.
All right. And we're off the air, folks. And awkward moment.